Well, hello there, guys, and welcome to part two of our live Napoleon Total War campaign in Egypt. Again, really trying this format of doing our campaigns from a live standpoint instead of an episodic series. That pops up every now and again. So if you like what's going on, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If not, let us know in the comments. That being said, we're going to continue our push eastwards. And what we discovered the last time we played is quite simple. We did, of course, take Cairo, which is a huge victory. But most of our enemies are actually, let me take a look here. It's not building browser. Actually, it's just the mini map here. It's the Ottoman Empire. So we really need to be much stronger here and essentially push and take these remaining Arab cities so that we don't even have to worry about the Ottomans. So I am going to head out with our general Jean-Baptiste Kléber. I'm going to leave some units behind because obviously our people need to be kept in line. I know that sounds kind of messed up, but just the reality of the times. And I want to go ahead and defeat the rest of the Arab tribes before taking the Ottomans and the British on head on. So let's just continue kind of building on what we were building before. We do have some gentlemen currently studying things, and we actually just hired an additional general. So I'm actually going to head out with Louis Charles Antoine Dessay. Just going to go ahead, grab all these guys. I'm going to grab everybody. I'm leaving Jean-Baptiste Besser behind. In fact, I'll leave him behind with an additional unit here, and I'll just have some units from this army join him. I don't want a rebellion, although I think that the Egyptians in this area are actually quite in our favor. They're quite supportive of the revolution, but of course, of the revolution, of the Republic. That being said, having militia in our army as a main unit, not something I necessarily want. But I do want to hold on to Cairo here. So of course, we've got Napoleon there. And let's just see if we can get some additional units. Looks like we are building them. Let's get another Fusilier of the line, some more cavalry. And currently we are upgrading buildings, but I'm thinking we need to head a little closer to the Sahara, right on the edge, and take out these other Arab and Bedouin strongpoints. Otherwise, they're eventually going to be places where revolution is fomented. I'm sure of it. I'm also building up that navy because I know the British have a significant advantage in terms of naval units and equipment. So I want to make sure that we come out on top here. General Tiberius and Bostova, how you doing, buddy? Good to see all of you guys. All right, here we go. Let's end that turn. It's good to see that we've got some actual money to spend. 25-15. Pretty unlikely. Okay, let's see. Push in here. And that's going to be Matruh. Now, typically, I would offer terms, but this is Europe in a very, very dark time, so we don't consider these people amongst us, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and take... I'm not even going to go into it. I'd love to sack this place, but I'm not going to. I'm going to peacefully occupy it. I'm going to build up the barracks, and I'm going to take our other general and go for Damietta. And once again, same story here. Peacefully occupying this area. And it seems like we can go ahead and upgrade the magistrate there. I think that's going to be quite important to any push forward. I'm just going to wait here with Napoleon. I'm going to allow him to regain his composure, regain additional troops, and eventually we'll move out with him. But I'm hoping that a large insurgent force will attack us. In the meantime, I'm going to try and repair all these damaged buildings. I think we have one over here as well. We damaged this one. You gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. Isn't that the saying? I think it is. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Tiberius. All right, let's end the turn. And actually, right there, look at that army, guys, at Shakria. So, of course, we've got Dessay here. But again, a lot of his units are militia units. I'm going for it, though. I'm going to go ahead. We could go straight for the attack, or we could continue the siege. And I think I'm going to continue the siege. I do want to make sure we get additional militia unit in here, too, just so that the people don't have an uprising. But I think with this second army, we'll just kind of hang low and not really do anything. However, I'm going to send Napoleon over. I am going to leave a few units behind. Oh, sorry about that. But the reason being, I want him to help in the conquest of this city, if it comes to that.
Autre chose? En attente de vos ordres.
How do I feel about how fast Syria collapsed? I think it was, it was a bit surprising to me for sure. But the speed at which it collapsed was, I think, kind of eye-opening. It was basically overnight. It's really, the media really only started reporting on it about day 5 out of 7, but it really happened so quickly. It was shocking. It did remind me of the Tet Offensive. It also reminded me of the Cambodians, the Khmer Rouge, taking over Phnom Penh, just how quickly it occurred. In terms of the upcoming government, man, I don't know anything about them. Let's hope that, I know that they were like Al-Qaeda proxies and all this crazy shit. Let's hope that they can bring some stability to the region. According to the leader, he's claiming that he's going to push for a secular state, which I think would be great, but I don't necessarily believe him. So it looks like these Berbers are being difficult, not to mention we've got some enemies creeping up on Cairo. Let's take a look at exactly where they're creeping up. So first, we're going to go ahead and just initiate the battle, and we'll use Napoleon to head back. But let's go for it. We've, of course, got the support of Napoleon. I want to entirely eliminate the Bedouin resistance, and then that way we can move on to the Ottomans.
The halt button on the left of the battle control panel.
All right, let's just set those cannons up. Let them start firing. Trying to bring revolution to North Africa. All right, let's grab additional units, push forward. Again, I'm just hoping that we are going to outshoot them. We do have the high ground. That's absolutely huge. There's a lot of enemies, man. There's Napoleon. I don't want him getting hurt. Might keep him back. Love to get into that building before the enemy gets to it, but I think it's unlikely. And a militia unit's not the unit I would want to get into it with, so I'd want to get into it with one of these more skilled units. Nope, that's also a militia unit. See, this is the problem with having all these militia units, man. We'll see how they perform, but I'm not expecting much out of them. Here we go. Of course, these are native people from Northern Africa, other tribes, etc., that are working for the French, and they're fine fighters. It's just when it comes to a line infantry unit that's been well trained, these guys don't stand a chance. So we really just need to hope that the enemy has the same lack of skill, and they kind of do. Again, a lot of Berber units, mostly used to cavalry combat on camels. They're not used to this sort of up-close and personal fight. I do want to, however, still get some units in that building. Holy shit, what happened to the cavalry? Fire at them, boys.
Milice en approche, monsieur. Un peu d'entrain, bande de pouilleux.
I'm going to simply flip these guys around entirely. And let's just grab these cavalry units. Might as well take out the enemy artillery. They're already being targeted pretty heavily. But I want to make sure they're not a threat at all. Let's get the flank shot. Let's try and take out that peasant levy as quickly as we can. Again, the interesting thing about Napoleon Total War is we, in an effort to not have, like, uprisings and revolts, we actually need to destroy these armies. We need to destroy these Berber armies. If we just, you know, accept terms and let them leave and all that, they will rise up later, and we don't have the supply chain to allow that to occur. So it becomes a really nasty situation. Something cleansing, essentially. Got to get rid of the traitors. In this case, those that would not allow a republic. Under French rule, of course. Good work, boys. Oh, I am loving how our guys are fighting here. Crix Pop. Okay, I have no idea what you meant there, my friend. Let's hope. Hi, Jen, only on KenDoggie. I'm hoping that I'm not having a stroke, because I don't understand what you said there, brother. Can you be more specific what you meant? That was like an AI comment. That was weird. All right, let's get some flanking shots over here. Actually, we can't. They're too close. Let's just go ahead and open fire. We can get some flanking shots over here. And of course, our artillery are giving them a hell of a fight. I'm just going to go ahead and actually get behind the enemy. We'll order our guys to move really quickly. Vive la Révolution! Trying to liberate these people from sultanates and sheiks and emirs. And it looks like so far we do see a lot of running on their side. We do have some units in the thick of it, though, as well. Those Fusiliers of the line are the ones doing the real work. These are actually properly trained soldiers, but I want them in a better position. I want them on that uphill position. So let's get them up there. And actually, some of our regiment of foot are taking a nasty hit there, man. However, we're still going for that flanking shot. In an effort, of course, to take the city and reduce the amount of insurgents here. Let none escape. Take advantage here of the retreat on the enemy side. And I'm actually just going to fire down on top of the remainder of them. I will chase them if they run. Again, we need to get rid of as many insurgents as possible. We don't want them to live to fight another day. So I'm going to continue firing, as barbaric as it may seem. Yeah.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, sir.
All right, we've got our artillery, excuse me, our cavalry approaching. Let's go ahead and use them. I think really my only disagreement with Napoleon Total War is the secondary general system, where it forces you to, of course, take control of the secondary army as well. It's really the only issue I have with this game. And so far, it looks like we're doing just fine, guys. I do think we need to chase down all of the insurgents with our cavalry. This is going to be a hell of a win, at least over the Bedouins. Oh, salute to General KenDoggie. Awesome. And how are you doing, General KenDoggie? You know, it's not military doctrine to stand on top of the hill, either like a third way down the hill or the other side of the hill. Thank you, BSG. I didn't know that. Interesting. So in other words, you don't want to stand on top. You want to you want to get on top and descend a little bit on the other side, I think is what you're saying, right? I'm going to try that next time. Right on. I find also that if you stand like on top but sort of on your side, you can't see the enemy really. You want to get that sweet spot where you essentially have an entrenched position, right? In that your lower body is kind of protected from the enemy, but you can still see them. That's what you're looking for, I'm sure. Let's do a good old charge on this unit. Chargez! Vive la France et de la République! Beautiful. Just got rid of the enemy general there. Nuruddin al-Amri, guys, one of the insurgent leaders, as a matter of fact. The son of Hashak al-Bey al-Amri, I believe. So this is actually quite a big win for us. And again, most of our units in Desaix's army here, or General Desaix, they are mostly militia units, just peasants. They did a great job. I'm sending the cavalry after them. I know it's brutal, but it has to be done. And we do still have one enemy unit that is hanging around. We'll get rid of them here in a second. But I'm just going to target the enemy here. 101 units, man. Got to take them on. All right, and the enemy that we're still dealing with is going to be the artillery unit. Yep, sure enough. But again, I'm going to take my time because I want our men to have a chance to destroy the enemy. You could see, look at those casualties, man. Look at that. That is vicious. A lot of men died on both sides, but mostly on the enemy side, and I am not going to pass up the chance to cut some of the enemy down before they leave this battlefield.
Sir, your general has been killed.
No, Desaix was killed. I'm not even sure how. The enemy's already retreated. All right, well, Desaix's an amazing general, so it's going to suck to have lost him, but we'll make it work. Well, poop, exactly, Bostova. But I'm not going to stop, man. Again, one of the reasons I'm making this a live campaign is I want, no matter what happens, I want things to just kind of continue. And at least it wasn't Napoleon. So there we go. And just like we did in our other campaigns or our other cities, we're just going to peacefully occupy. What I would like to do is get some money very soon to get a new general for this army. Of course, Napoleon's men are just fine. And there's actually an army just kind of hanging out there. Let's have some of our men join Napoleon's force. Our militia really proved themselves during that battle. All right. Two battles in one day for this army. And again, this is Jalaluddin Amin, another enemy force. Let's take him on. I want to make sure that our men are so well trained in this sort of combat that they can train the recruits coming into their units. So we are going to go ahead and face them head on once again. They do have the uphill advantage here, which I don't like, so I'm going to try to take that position quickly. Again, even if we have to train additional troops later, I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure that our guys get that combat experience. Let's make sure that the cavalry goes wide. I'm going to send my chasseurs forward as well, but I'm also going to make the cavalry go wide on this part of the battlefield. Really good hits on the enemy artillery, man. Let's set him up just kind of like that. I'm going to give these chasseurs some light infantry behavior, so I really just want them to fire off at the Bedouins here and then retreat. But the enemy's already suffering a morale loss almost immediately. Nice! Make sure that our cavalry are also firing on them there. Holy, alright. I think I see why the enemies, like, despite outnumbering us, they're quite weak. Their morale is dog shit, I'm gonna be honest. The Bedouins don't have proper leaders. Unless they have leaders like Emin Bey, they really can't stand up against us. So we're just gonna kind of fall onto them and try and encircle them entirely. I will send in our cavalry. Oh yeah. Look at that, one volley and they're already thinking about breaking. I'm even thinking about doing a charge here, but we have the superior position. There's no point. We should just hold this position. Again, we're going to order this cavalry to actually head over here and assist. Chargé with our chasseurs. And I think this downhill charge will give a little bit of a momentum boost as well. Come on! Keep on firing with the rest of our units. Keep them under fire. I think we can completely overwhelm them. And sure enough, that seems to be what's happening. We have to smash the Berbers before we can move on to the Ottomans and the British. It's that simple. So I want to get rid of any resistance at all. So we did kill the enemy general. I don't need Napoleon to get hurt here, so I'm actually going to just kind of send him off into the desert. Because our last general was killed just by an unlucky shot. And there we go, Jalaluddin Amin, no longer a threat. And I'll just go ahead and move my infantry against the artillery units just hanging about here. But, like I said before, I am going to chase down any enemies that run. We're We're going to reduce the amount of Berbers that would stand against France. And that means chasing down prisoners. What do I think of the Helldivers 2 into? I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. I know what Helldivers 2 is. He's got range on you. War as hell, but my dog just farted, and I think he'll know. We'll see. I think we're doing okay. Good question, Steven. I got a little bit too confident because we had the enemy on the run, and the only thing they had left was an artillery unit that was wavering. And I sent Zissou to commit war crimes. I sent him to chase down retreating units. Really, I deserved what I got. And he got shot by an unlucky cannon blast. You're absolutely right, man. Losing Zissou was a huge hit. I love Zissou.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, sir.
As always, if you guys are watching, I would ask that you please hit that like button and consider joining the channel or hitting the thanks button. It really does help us hugely. And there we go, a heroic victory. I didn't even chase down the rest of the enemy, but Napoleon's army is going to need to rest. And there we go. Look at that, man. Unbelievable. 10 to 1, essentially. 1,027 enemy killed. We only lost 156 men. A gauche marche. So back to Zagazig in Sharkia. And with the rest of our armies, let's take a look over here. With Jean-Baptiste Kleber, I do want to continue moving forward. Currently, Cairo is really under-defended, to put it mildly. And I'm thinking of taking maybe Jean-Baptiste Bessières, a few of these units, and just heading straight to Cairo. There's no doubt about it. Napoleon's going to need some replacements. So we will end the turn there. And the Ottomans are arriving. Oh, boy. All right. We're going to finally get some Ottoman enemies. And also very large groups still of Berbers. I want to make sure these gentlemen get to our universities. All right. So let's see. Gafr el-Sheikh is where we have our college. And I actually, our Giza building is damaged. And so is the town hall here. So we'll go ahead and repair that first. I love how in Napoleon the troops just kind of slowly join you. I think that's far more realistic. But the Ottomans are on their way, man. And we did promise to get an additional general for this army, but, you know, times have been difficult. So I think I'm simply going to move Napoleon back a bit, and reinforce his existing force. Potentially even join up some of these Fusilier of line unit with existing, you know, very skilled Fusiliers of line, just to have a very strong force. Let's face it, this is not Europe. The people here are not as willing to join us. But we need to try to win those hearts and minds, no matter what. Let's get our spy, and in fact, we're going to bring our spy over here to face our first Ottoman force.
Although all agents can carry out spy missions.
Really, BSG? I didn't know that. You're teaching me things I never even knew, man. I've been playing this game for over 10 years, and I'm learning new stuff. That's awesome, dude. So you don't need to click the repair button? It'll just auto-repair? Really? Cheers, man. And cheers to everybody that followed up with part 2 of this series. Again, I'm testing out this, live-based series as opposed to doing episodes, because this way I could just kind of play when I feel like it, and you guys can kind of follow along. I hope it's working.
Rebellions grow in strength over time, the more they're left unchecked.
Mailed, and there's a beautiful stable to be built there. Do we go straight for the attack or wait? I think I know the answer to that question.
Préparez-vous, marchez. Troupes, d'autres en avant. Troupes, en avant.
Let's go for it, folks. The first time we're facing the Ottomans, and really the Ottomans have power behind the Berbers here. Not always. In many cases, the Berbers would fight the Ottomans, but not in this engagement. I think this particular unit has earned its retirement. We're gonna head back with them. Let's bring a stronger unit forward, even if it is a militia unit. But in this case, we'll make it a cannon unit.
En avant, marchez. Massacrez-les.
Okay, look at that. So these are just standard auxiliaries, Orta. But I want to make sure we come out on top, so we're still going to fight the battle. It's also a Ottoman general, Mehmed Ali. Let's take him on. Right back, folks. All right, let's see what we're up against here. So again, the first time we face the Ottomans, they'll certainly be more strict and disciplined than the Berbers. And their tactics will probably be a little more similar to us, actually. Stephen Mikalski. Thank you, man. Love the live I really appreciate that, dude. I really do. Again, I am the first to admit, man, and I want to apologize to my viewers about this, that in the history of this channel, I don't finish most series, and there's a lot of reasons for that. One of them is having, episode 1 and 2 have a huge amount of views, and the follow-up episodes have, very few, and it sort of makes me feel like, well, look, I mean, if nobody wants to watch this, why am I going to keep uploading? Obviously it takes me time to upload, to edit videos, etc. And this setup, this live setup, kind of just allows me to play by the seat of my pants, basically. It's just like, okay, I feel like playing some Napoleon. Let me jump on, continue our previous campaign. And the other thing is there's a hardcore element to this, I'm not like saving and reloading or anything. If we screw up here and we die, I let you guys, I keep it on. So I think there's numerous reasons to continue this format, but I really like hearing that, man, that people enjoy the live campaign format. I enjoy it too. Also, I get to get it instant advice from you guys, which is awesome. Like just the advice that I've gotten, so far from BSG here is stuff I didn't even know about the game. No, he certainly didn't, man. I'm not sure. So General Kenobi, for those of you just tuning in, is talking about the Napoleonic winter campaign in Russia. I was going to say, I think the best representation of that campaign in film, if you guys have ever seen a movie called The Duelists, and if you haven't, you should. It has Harvey Keitel in it, the guy that plays the wolf in Pulp Fiction, as well as other really great actors. But there's a scene where he's dueling another French officer in Russia, after the French army has been routed. and he's French. His officer, you know, the officer he's facing is French in a duel, and they're in the middle of this like snowy, terrible plateau, you know, like a tundra. There's nothing around. There's no food. You can hear the wind howling. You can see all these dead, frozen men everywhere. If anybody's seen this film, make sure to let me know in the comments here. But anyway, this Cossack rides up on a horse, and in Russian, and he's chewing on a piece of meat, and he looks like really dirty and dingy. And again, keep in mind, these two Frenchmen are dueling each other. They hate each other. But this Cossack rides up, and you know, they've got chapped, frozen lips, etc. And he says, hello, Frenchman. Would you like to eat? Would you like some meat? In Russian, of course. And he's chewing on a piece of dried meat, and then Harvey Keitel's character just shoots him with a fucking a musket pistol, what do you call that, and kills him. But it's such a great representation of that campaign, because you see the French all around them completely frozen, completely dead. And I've read actually books on that campaign. I'd love to do some like mini documentaries. I actually did a mini documentary here on the channel on King Philip. And one of them is on that campaign, because I have quite a lot of knowledge of just how awful it was, to such an extent that some of the Cossacks, okay, at the end of the Napoleonic campaign in Russia, some of those Cossacks actually gave food and shelter to the remnants of the Napoleonic army. They hated them at first. They hated the fact that the French were invading their land, but they felt so bad from the suffering of these retreating units that were like freezing to death every day with no food, that some of the Cossacks actually took pity on them. And sometimes, anyway, I mentioned that scene because of that, but it also makes me think that perhaps that scene was done in that way on purpose, where the Cossack actually was trying to help them, you know, like, hey guys, you guys are fucking dead, your army's routed, here's some free meat, man, you know, I'm just trying to help you out. In a way, I think that may have been what was going on. But anyway, you know, we don't do a movie review channel, we do a strategy channel. But yeah, it just often makes me think, but yeah, it was a vicious campaign. And again, quite similar to what the Germans faced, right, on the Eastern Front. Anybody that seems to go out there to Russia, man, too far east, you're gonna have problems. Hell, not even too far east, even west of Moscow, you're gonna have problems. That's how cold Russia is. And so far, we are crushing these Ottomans, but I've gotta say, their discipline is pretty good. But our militia's doing a good job here against them so far. Want to make sure that Napoleon is not at all troubled. He's hanging out back here. But we do need him for the morale boost, so I'm going to bring him over here.
Glorious victories, huh?
Vive la France! The negotiations were short. Saw it at the cinema many years ago. Oh, dude, the fact that you got to see that film in cinema, dude, I am so effing jealous. I'm not even kidding you, man. I am so jealous. The Duelist would have been one of those films that should have been seen in cinema. There's a lot of movies out there. And again, when I talk about cinema, man, let me be clear. I'm very orthodox in this approach. I don't consider any movies of the last 10 years as cinema. I really don't. If you got to see The Duelist in cinema live, that is, not live, but you know what I mean. Like, you know, in cinema on the big screen, you are so damn lucky, dude. I'm not ending the battle, by the way, guys. We need to make sure these Ottomans are dead. We are going to chase them down. Vengeance for attacking the French Republic. Or defending themselves against it, just as awful. But man, that's awesome. What a great film, too. One of my favorite films of all time. And I think also the most realistic representation of duel combat, or duels in general. Look at all of the dead Ottomans there, guys. We have done a good job. Let's take a look at our victorious troops. Look at that, around a pile of dead enemy bodies. I love it. These are the men that will build the Republic. Ooh, still some enemies. And again, we'll simply have them charge at this point. Some of our units, like the skirmisher unit, have really paid the price on this battle, man. Look at that. I can't blame them for trying to seek revenge. All right, I'm pleased with that. I mean, well, then again, I was gonna say I'm pleased with that, but look at how many more enemies there are, man. No, we're gonna cut them all down. Look at this. Look at this. Anybody that can catch them is gonna catch them. I'm even gonna send Napoleon Bonaparte in himself to chase down these prisoners, man. Again, it may seem messed up, but especially when you're trying to colonize another nation, even under the name of liberty and a free republic, like's happening here, you've got to get rid of the opposition, man, and that means chasing down the enemy. We'll go ahead and fast forward here so we don't have to wait too long, but I'm definitely going to chase them down. Oh, man, look at that.
Sir! Sir! Our general is under attack.
He's just fine. It's Napoleon Bonaparte. Relax. That's the calmest I've ever felt with a warning from the AI. Napoleon is under attack. No, he's Napoleon. He's okay. He's going to be just fine. And there we go. We've cut down so many of the enemies here. I think that's about it. There's probably still a few more here that I want to cut down. I just want to make sure we get as many of them as possible. But that's sufficient. Beautiful. Not really close victory. We actually won overwhelmingly. Almost 1,400 enemy killed. Almost 450 killed on our side, let's say. The Ottomans have been beaten, but again, they are a tough force, and if you look here on the map, they own all of Gaza, Israel, Palestine, etc. We only own this tiny area here in Egypt. So we want to continue our offensive, of course. We still want to get rid of, there are still Bedouin insurgents in the south, and so far the people have really enjoyed French rule in comparison with having these Bedouin overlords. Many of them at the time, believe it or not, were slave traders, and they would go to the coast here on the western side. We can't see it here, but they would be trading slaves. So I can see why the people are very supportive of us being here. That being said, we've got a massive Mamluk force right there, man. I didn't even see it until now, and we're going to have to do something about that. So we could just head out of the city here with Jean-Baptiste Kleber and try and face them. I am so annoyed that we didn't see them, and I'm so annoyed that we're going to leave Damietta undefended, and either way, this is going to be a tough fight, but we might go for it. I want to make sure Kleber is ready to, of course, receive the foe. Let's see here. No, I you know, in general, I'm very cautious, but when it comes to when it's Napoleon or Caesar, I'm good. I'll charge with them. I'm good. If things don't work out, then that's just the end. Then we just lost. And again, this is a hardcore campaign, so that's another reason I think live campaigns are cooler. Is you know, whatever happens here, if we lose, that's it. You know. All right, here we go. Our spy is also just now arriving. This is what I was worried about. I am going to auto-resolve. Thank goodness.
There is unused land suitable for farming in this region. Building farms here will help the population to grow over time and produce trade income.
Okay, let's focus on those farms, but also we want to make sure that Damietta doesn't revolt. And I believe they are the ones in danger of revolting.
En avant! Marchez!
Let's take a look at Napoleon's army.
Écrasez-les!
Damn, I thought that would kill him. I just want to get rid of any Ottomans in the area. And again, we still have this drunken general, Jean-Baptiste Bessières, that we hired on a whim, hanging back in Cairo, holding the city. But I am certain, man, absolutely certain, that there's a massive insurgent Mamluk force building up here, which is why I'd like to have additional funds to build an army, but it's not happening at the moment.
Prêt!
Oh, is that them? Did you see that?
There is
Two
unused
yeah,
land
potentially
suitable
two
for
massive
farming.
armies.
Building farms here will help the population.
All right. We do want to get the farms up, of course. Boost the economy, all sorts of good stuff, but I can see that there is definitely something coming. So I think we're going to send Kleber towards Cairo. Even if we have an uprising here, Napoleon can get to it pretty quickly. At least for this immediate turn.
La vertu et la valeur invaincue!
And either way, we need to keep him here a bit longer to get some more units. Now, I'd like to get into even more
Marchez!
supportive territory, let's say, because as you can see, when you see that red plus, we are replenishing, but we're replenishing at a very slow rate. And in many cases, that's because of the fact that people don't necessarily support us in this area. This is very, very Berber territory, and it's also very pro-Ottoman territory because we're close to the Ottomans, so I can understand why, unfortunately. All right. And I would ask, if you are watching the stream, make sure to hit that like. Don't say that with such despair. Believe me, dude, unless I am in the same boat, I don't even stream. So trust me, you know, do what you got to do. But again, if you're watching and you enjoy, please do make sure to hit that like button. And I know you're watching now and, you know, you're unlikely to click the video later, but I would ask, as a personal favor, if you're having fun, make sure that when the video is uploaded that you leave a comment, no matter what it is, advice, you know, thoughts, etc. Please do that, because YouTube loves those comments, man. With the comments down below, make them promote my video, so you can see why I want that to happen. Oh no, true Bedouins. These are not even Mamluks. These are actual proper Bedouins, man.
There is unused land suitable for farming in this region. Building farms.
We gotta stop them, man. They're going straight for Damanhur.
Pardon, monsieur?
Oh, please let me attack them. I hope we can get it to Damanhur in time, guys.
Marchez!
I'm even gonna send some reinforcements to the city. I'm concerned. All right, let's repair the college there. I mean, that's our only center for intellectual learning.
Monsieur, vos ordres?
And with Napoleon's forces... So here's the crazy thing. We've got the Sahara right here, right? There's two cities. There's Suez, of course, the Suez Canal. And there is Arish, North Sinai, that connect us to the modern day, you know, Israel-Palestine area, Middle East, or part of the Middle East in any case, over here, owned by the Ottomans and the British. So I think we need to go for the Suez Canal, for sure. So we're going to send Napoleon in the direction of Suez. But he's going to be crossing open desert. Again, it's not the Suez Canal. I mean, even today, the Suez Canal is a remote area, but this is even worse, you know. We're going to be crossing the Sahara without any stops whatsoever. And actually, I'm going to send this Fusilier of Line unit over just because it's so well trained that when it joins one of our own units, this unit is going to get a huge rank boost there. So let's make that happen. And I think that's about it. Wow, I just did Herbert the Pervert there for a split second. I just realized, I think that's going to be all we're going to do now. Okay, we're just going to auto-resolve that one.
Glorieuse
Easy
victoire!
win. Nice. Don't have to worry about them. I was concerned about that because, again, getting behind our lines, that is always a problem. Okay, capture a city, Awad Ali. And, again, that's out in the desert. I am going to allow... Where is he? I don't want Napoleon going for it, but the other general we had. All right, we're going for Suez, and sure enough, we got a mission issued by the French Republic herself. Those of you that don't know, Napoleon wasn't just suddenly an emperor. As you can see, we currently have a president, Jean-Francois Roubel. He's actually called the director of the French Republic. What a title, huh, for a republic? The director. So we are just a general, just a lowly general, Napoleon.
Glorieuse victoire! En avant! Marchez! Préparez-vous pour la guerre! Oui, monsieur.
All right, let's head down with Kleber. And I think we're going to have to, of course, go for the mission objective over here. But we should be able to take Fayoum here and then go to Awlad Ali. And on the way, we'll pick up troops in Cairo. So I'm going to send those chasseurs and the chasseurs and the fusiliers. So Kleber is going to have a lot of things to work with, man. I think he should be just fine. Though I really want to make sure that that college gets repaired. We're not doing any tech research currently. And let's take our spy and actually send him up here. I want to see what they have in Israel-Palestine, essentially. Or right here in current-day Palestine in Gaza. I want to see what the Ottomans have. So I'm just going to kind of cut through enemy lines and hopefully see what's going on. Look at those sneaky Ottomans trying to cut through. Oh man, BSG, I know exactly how that feels, man. I've got here in Portugal, the race we call it is canela. It's basically a brown. Okay, if you watch The Simpsons, you know Santa's little helper from The Simpsons. That breed in Portugal and Brazil is called canela, and my dog Bullet is canela, and he does the exact same stuff, man. Like I'll get up to pee at night, and he'll jump over onto where I'm sleeping and just like sprawl out. Like, dude, do you not think I know what's going on? Come on, get up, just, like, stop. I think it's adorable. Yeah, my dog does the same thing. Or if I'm sitting somewhere and I get up to go do something, come back, he'll sit there. Look at that, guys. We have liberated the Suez Canal. The merchant caravans have arrived safely and are happy to compensate for some of our expenses. As we speak, Monsieur Lepre is surveying the remains of the old channel. The additional funding and prestige gained from the undertaking enables us to increase our scientific effort and thusly the capabilities of the Institut d'Egypte. Our fame spreads amongst the intellectual cities of Europe. I told you guys taking the Suez was going to be huge. Sure enough, it is. Napoleon has taken it. We still need to continue our studies because we need to unlock the public schooling bonus. But as you can see, the Ottomans are also pushing through. Don't like that. I'm going to build up what we've got. We always said we were going to get an additional general over here soon. But you know what? Maybe we can use an existing general to defend. Nope. Jean-Baptiste Kleber has to continue his push. Especially with units like that. Look at those Bedouin units there. We're going to set... Look at that. We're heading into the desert. We're actually going to take casualties. I want to get rid of those Bedouin units. But no, we're going to have to like get another general for sure. So let's go here to Garbia. Let's see what other armies we have. But I think Garbia is our best bet. Unless we do one here in Alexandria and just slowly get him over there, it's kind of upsetting. So we're going to get a general here from the Chasseurs à Cheval. Eugène de Bottomay. Auguste Momont. Auguste Momont, it looks fantastic. So does Jean Lanné. Let's get Lanné. He is, of course, a hero of the revolution. Let's put a little bit of money into building a proper army for him. Why not? However, that's going to take time. In the meantime, the enemy could overrun our positions, especially with all of these armies that they've got. They absolutely outnumber us in the region. There's no doubt about that. Should have even maybe built a general right there. Let's see. All right, ending the turn. He went right past us.
There is
How
unused
frustrating
land
is
suitable
that?
for farming in this region. Building farms here.
And you know what? I will build farms. Because the only way we're going to survive here is making sure that we establish ourselves and have roots. And look at this. Our army's already being damaged by being in the desert. We have to attack these Bedouins. I think we might lose Kléber here. I'm not even sure we have square formation, but we're going to try. We're going for it. The Battle of Matruh. Either way, Kléber is probably going to have to fall back and get some additional units. All right. Again, I don't think we have square formation. We'll see. We do on some units. That's what's going to save us. Because this is a massive enemy camel force is what it is. Look at that, guys. These are true Bedouins here. The deepest people of the desert. We can use our own cavalry too, but really I think square formation is going to win the day for us here. Oh shit. They've spotted us. The reason I'm a little intimidated by these folks is these are people that have lived in the desert for thousands of years. They know the desert a lot more than we do, so anytime we face them out here, I'm very cautious. Vive le pays! Again, the goal, of course, is to bring democracy or a republic to all people in this area. That's why we keep fighting. That's why our soldiers are motivated to keep pushing. And, of course, promised riches of Alexandria, Cairo, and all these cities. All right, square formation. I'm going to get a lot closer before putting the square formation on these units. I'm going to try to get, like, right up on top of the enemy. Come on, man. Our cavalry's taking a beating here. Square formation. I hope they get into it in time. Nice. Now let's see how this does against the enemy cavalry, guys. How do you think it'll do? We're about to find out. Same thing here. I feel like we've got them trapped.
glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
Still got some chasseurs. I may as well fire at the retreating enemy, but you can see how well that square formation works, man. Ghiyasuddin Ibn Hussein is dead. Just one of many enemy insurgent leaders, but another one bites the dust, as they say. They only have one unit left, and it's got to be that, yep, it's that cavalry unit, sure enough. And it seems like they are taking off on the field. Easy victory. Easy, easy victory.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, sir.
I'm going to sound like an absolute jerk saying it, but I'm glad that Dessay is dead because he's expensive and that we kept Kleber. I just think Kleber is a superior general, so I'm not that torn up about losing Dessay. So far, Kleber is performing admirably. It's exactly what we want. Oh, additional enemy units. First of all, let's get these guys out of the square formation. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Oh, it's still the same enemy units here. We'll try to chase them down with cavalry. Channel reminds you of your time in the Outback. How so, man? Tell me. Watch this on my big screen. Type on Tiny Little Phones of Life. Let me tell you something, BSG. If you're out in the Outback, you know, myself, I'm not somebody that does a lot of like survivalist stuff, but I love survivalist stuff. If you're out in the Outback and you get comfort from watching my channel, dude, it might be the greatest compliment I've ever received. I'm not even kidding you. I hate to sound cliche, but if you're out in the Outback hanging out, drinking beers, you know, watching my channel on a big screen, that I am, thank you, dude. I want to seriously thank you. It's more than any donation could do right now. Like, that is fucking awesome, dude. That's awesome. Because, you know, when I'm just out walking in the woods here in Portugal and in some of the areas that I spend time in out in the country, that's the stuff I'm thinking about. It's like, you know, wars and like hypothetical things of like what could have happened and how history could have been different. And if you watch my channel and get that same feeling, dude, and enjoy it, especially out in the wilderness, that's awesome, man. Thank you. That is awesome. I think we got to get Napoleon moving soon, but again, our economy is not perfect. We could actually kick some ministers if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, that's Empire. So, we'll try to fix what we've got. And we also have to get Kleber out of the desert. We're going to have to send him over towards Cairo. I think that's going to be the goal. I'm okay with just a few of these enemies hanging around. We killed their general, so, you know. The thing is, the only difference is these guys can survive in the desert and our men can't. We're going to take huge attrition damage. Being out here in the Sahara. Look how close to the pyramids we are as well there. All right, ending the turn. Our spy continues ahead. one place I absolutely want to go to is Australia. I've been over most of Europe. I've even been to most of Central Europe. But Australia is one place I really want to go to. Tell us a story about the Outback, man. But I think it's so cool that a Grip Maxenius channel is playing out in the Outback. Like, that is cool as shit to me, man. No, like, I'm not even kidding. Some brown snake is listening to me narrate battles. Give me one sec, folks. Yeah, for me, it's like, yeah, and again, I'm not somebody that's like that does wilderness trekking regularly, but if I was out camping and was to listen to radio or something like that, my thing is Coast to Coast FM. I don't know how much you guys know about Coast to Coast FM. The original guy that started it is dead, unfortunately, but that's what I like to listen to, like stories about like Bigfoot and UFOs. And I don't even believe in like 99% of that shit. But I like to entertain myself with it, if that makes any sense. So if again, that's why I was so like just so happy, man, that if you're out in the outback, like camping out, watching my channel, like on a phone, like that's freaking awesome, dude. I just want to say that's freaking awesome, man. Give me just one moment, folks, and we'll jump right back in. In fact, let's see how things are going. All right. Shame that our guys are suffering there in the desert. 23-10, man. We should be able to make a difference here. And sure enough, we can get out of the desert. So let's do that. Straight to Cairo. And I want to fix our university here. So we have some Turkish units attacking from the north. The question is, were they already there or are they getting off ships? Because again, if they're getting off ships, that's a problem. We are trying to build up our navy, but it's going to take time. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see, Napoleon. I think we can start making the push towards Arish, North Sinai. Problem is, we've got to leave some troops behind. No. Oh, man, what a shame. All right, let's do it. Taking all of our chasseurs, but I'll leave one of the militia units behind. And I hope it's enough, because the people will probably still rise up. All right, workers on strike in Helvan. And sure enough, I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, we need somebody to take control of the Suez. So I am going to try to get that additional general here. Too expensive, unfortunately. But can we potentially get some cavalry here at the Suez? If not, our best bet is to get additional militia. Just going to simply continue the siege. I will try to get reinforcements, but this is a tough position for Napoleon. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Oh, no way! In Alexandria? No! We are not going to surrender. Okay, we're being attacked by Nasiruddin Zwabi here in North Sinai with Napoleon. We're going to fight, man. We have to. We have to be there. They're trying to kill Napoleon. I will definitely deploy all of our cannons and hope for the best. We got a lot of guys that are pretty badly hurt, I'm not gonna lie. This is an army that is damaged.
Ligne prête, monsieur.
It's a massive enemy force. I don't know if this was a good idea. We'll see. Interesting. So in a dunny is when, like, you go with your mates out into the desert and just kind of, like, have a little drinking party. Ooh. Well, I know there's a lot more. I mean, I know there's the same problem out in Australia, but I know there's a lot more, like, police accountability than there is in the States, for sure. Here in Portugal, police are held extremely accountable. Like, there was a crazy story here in Portugal where a gypsy, he was robbing a bank with a gun, and he brought his son with him, and his son was like 14. The gypsy was like in his 30s, and they started firing at the Portuguese police officers with their guns. So the Portuguese police chased them down the road, and they shot their tires out, and they got out firing, and the Portuguese officer was firing, and again, when you're under fire, man, you're aiming wherever you can. And he was returning fire, and he hit the kid, the 14-year-old kid, and killed him. But again, the kid had a gun in his hand. And that Portuguese police officer, he's currently serving 11 years in jail. So, yeah, man, the world is crazy, depending on where you are. Like, sometimes you don't even have the right to defend yourself. Getting some wonderful shots with our cannons, by the way. Yeah, let's fast forward a bit. They are taking their time, but there are a lot of them. However, our artillery is doing a damn good job. Maybe we'll just watch our arty load for now. Keep it going. Yeah, baby! artillery is still firing away, man. Vive le pays! See how close they are? I want to make sure our cavalry don't just suddenly get hit. But let's hit out... Let's knock out their Azars, basically their chasseurs, with actually a head-on charge. Vive la France! Oh, baby. Devastating.
Our men are running, sir.
Let's switch to canister shot, folks. Enemy is close enough. And I'm going to close in with the rest of our units here. Make sure to truly trap them. We absolutely have the technological advantage on the enemy. Despite the Mamluks and the Tuaregs and all these guys being a very devastating enemy, we still have the advantage with firepower, and I love that. Our militia is doing a great job. All right, they're going to attack us head-on with these units. So I want to make sure that we have these guys on canister. And when I say head-on, I'm not kidding. These guys don't have rifles. They just have swords. Or scimitars, I should say. There we go, the cannon, indeed. Should we do like a super, like ultra controversial poll that has nothing to do with this? What do you think, Bostova? I'll let Bostova decide because Bostova puts the most money into this chat. And I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not even going to comment on it. I'm just going to be like, the poll's up, and I'm not even going to say anything about it. I'm just going to see what people write or select. Or should we do a poll related to this campaign? What do you guys think? I think we'll advance. There are still enemy units back there. Yeah, there's still plenty of enemies, but we're doing okay. Rest of these guys are going to take off. We can probably switch off canister shot back to round shot. Square formation. Square formation again. We've got them. That's the problem, is the Mamluks rely way too much on cavalry. Man, I love that square formation. An absolutely devastating blow to artillery. It's crazy. Couldn't get there in time. I hope they can still hold on. Vive la République, guys. Long live the Republic. Let's keep pushing. Let's see what Bostova says. Oh, he's not even responding. Oh, god damn you, Bostova. The thing I like about you, Bostova, you actually remind me of a friend I had way back in New York when I was like a younger kid, Carl. And Carl was the kind of guy, he was a huge Mets fan, by the way. Huge Mets fan. Lived in Greenpoint. And anytime you'd ask him anything controversial, he was a really awesome and affable guy, very quiet like you are, like, didn't say much, kept to himself. But if you'd ask him something controversial, he'd go, oh yeah, and start laughing. Like, in a way, like, it just reminds me so much of you, Bostova, like Carl and you, man. And it's like, it was his way of saying, like, A, I don't care, and B, you're not going to get an answer out of me. And we never did. We never knew what he thought about things. And I thought it was awesome, dude. It was such a cool, like, character trait. Because he was very mysterious, you know, like, he was a cool guy, nice. He would talk about sports, loved talking about sports. But when it came to politics, he'd just be like, or if he did talk about it, it would be like a snarky comment that would, like, be really, really good. You know, really open-minded and interesting, and then that's it. Then he would just leave. He was kind of like a Norm Macdonald approach almost, you know? I hope he's doing well, man. I remember, like, when I was friends with him, he was 38 and I was 22. But he was an awesome guy. Alright, we're gonna go straight for that, Artie. Just charge it at this point. I will not send Napoleon in. He will be safe. He's back here. Joaquin Phoenix will not be touched. Vive la France! All right, the general has actually retreated. We have several generals that have retreated into the compound. I'm following with... No, not with Napoleon! Merde. Keep Napoleon here. I'm following with these guys. We may have to actually climb the walls. This turned into like a secondary battle. From defending to now having to take over the fort. I think it's what we have to do. Napoleon's definitely going to have to retreat back to Cairo after this, because even though he's done a tremendous job, we've killed plenty of enemies, we've captured plenty of cities, including Suez. Him and his army are badly bloodied, guys. We can't keep him here. It's too dangerous. See if we can't kill the enemy general there.
Glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
There we go, baby. Don't forget, guys, that you can always gift memberships to other people on the channel. If anybody is inclined to do that, I do appreciate it. If we can get 7 members, we currently have 4 members. If we can get 7 members, it'll actually show up on our channel page. And believe it or not, YouTube looks very highly upon that. So if you want to help me out, that is a huge, huge boost. I think we win this battle, man. Who else is left? Where is he? Where is that enemy? Oh, there he is. Cavalry. Attack. I'd probably get so many more views if I did the Warhammer Total War videos. I know before on Twitch, that was one thing that got me a bunch of views, but I just refuse to do it, man. You know, I want to stick to historical stuff, historical games. I don't want to have to play fantasy. And there we go. 10-1 odds again, guys. We killed 1,040 of the enemy, only losing 113 of our elite squad. Unfortunately, the city of Alexandria is besieged. I think we could just like, easily break this siege, though. I hope so. I'm definitely going to be saving here. Ew, what happened? What happened? Your right is getting bashed as way? What in the world is that icon that Bostova put? Hold on a second. What is that? Oh, never mind. I see now. I have my screen on dark screen. It's our stalker icon. All right, let's get back to the game. Which, by the way, you get if you become a member. I am going to save here. I know, I'm a coward. And the reason being, I'm going to try to attack. Just straight from the city. Okay, nope. That's why I saved. We're going to have to go back to Alexandria. How frustrating is that? Well, the thing is, we do have to get Napoleon out of here, but I think he's too far from Alexandria for it to make a difference. And losing Alexandria would be a big problem. All right, we'll simply repair what we've got. The Ottomans are right on our doorstep, but we've got to do something about Alexandria, man. And we're already sending a general southwards. I think we may have to return. So frustrating, but we may have to return with this general. The other option is to hope that we can build enough units to mount any sort of an attack, but I think that's foolhardy at best. No. Yeah, Jean-Baptiste Kleber is going to have to fall back. And again, Cairo is poorly defended, so it sucks in more ways than one, but we're going to do it. Yep, this is what I was worried about. Just a small Mamluk force and now a larger Mamluk force going for Cairo. All right, what if we do this? This is going to be really crazy. Just sending in an additional unit and sending Kleber south to Cairo. Oof, this is going to be crazy. I'm going to get militia simply to hold against the enemy here. And let's see Napoleon, how he's doing. We can actually hire additional troops, and I am. I'm going to get some Fusiliers of the line. It's going to take 2 turns, but it's going to give time for our other units to sort of catch up, as it were. Let's see. Yeah, I agree. Warhammer Total War. I'm going to make a video actually very soon about the state of strategy gaming and particularly the state of Total War and how they're pushing this Warhammer thing from Warhammer 1 to 3. Like it was so sudden. I remember when Warhammer 1 came out and I was about to purchase it and suddenly Warhammer 2 is out. And so I bought that instead. And when I started uploading actually on Twitch, it was actually one of my best strategy videos on Twitch with views, Warhammer 2 videos. It did quite well there. Warhammer 3 came out. And that's when I realized, I mean, I was never a huge Warhammer fan before. I do like the lore with Warhammer 40K, I will say. Not with regular Warhammer, but with 40K. But that being said, I never thought it would make a good strategy game. But I remember when 3 came out after I purchased 2, I was just like, fuck this. It reminded me of FIFA with EA Sports. If anybody's familiar with that whole, debacle, where it just reminded me, it just reminded me or made me think of like a company that's simply releasing games that are a copy of a previous game to make instant profits. And I just was like, fuck this. And I was never a fan of the fantasy genre coming to Total War anyway. It was never my thing. But I was okay with it with like Warhammer 1 and 2. But with Warhammer 3, I was like, this is just going downhill, man. What we need is a 30 years war game for Total War. I mean, a nice 30 years war Total War would be so amazing. Or even 7 years war Total War would be so amazing. You take that Empire look or that Napoleon look and you apply it to a new game. I mean, that's what people want. Even mainstream people don't want this like new bullshit. It's nonsense. Exactly. Maybe if it was 40K Bostova, exactly. And here's the thing, is I heard somebody say this a long time, somebody much, much wiser than myself, say that 40K, Total War can't go past the Victorian age and be good. And I sort of agree. In other words, World War I, World War II, Total War, I don't think that's ever going to be a thing. And if it is, it's not going to be, with the engine we have, it's not going to be good enough. But the conflict that you mentioned would be sufficient. Like, there are certain conflicts that would do really well with this engine. One is the 30 Years' War. The 30 Years' War would look incredible on this engine. Another one is maybe even up to like 1840s or 1860s style combat, like early Victorian period or pre-Victorian era, would do really well with this engine. And that's what they need to do, man. But they won't, because it's too risky. It's too risky, They probably will eventually make a World War II one, as awful as it's going to be. All right, so, yeah, all we can do with Kleber is start heading back. And the Ottomans are trying to stampede us with units. Okay, so they did leave... Oof. Yeah, we're going to try to retreat. Oh, boy. We lost some of our Fusiliers of the line. Should we fight and just try to kill as many of the enemy as possible? Do a Legionnaire ending? Let's do it. Like the movie Legionnaire. We're just going to hold out to the end. We don't have a proper general, nothing. But these are Fusiliers of the line, man. These guys come straight from the French mainland. So losing them is going to suck. So we'll do it. Ooh, we do have walls nearby. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Socket bayonets offer all the advantages.
So here's what we're going to do. We're immediately going to start setting up here to try and inflict as much damage on the Ottomans as possible. These men will die, but with honor to the Republic, friends.
Sir, our general is under attack.
And actually, since there is cavalry, I will put him in square. Want to make sure these still go into position. Let's see if we can do this. That works. And this. That works too. You're going to be surprised at how much just a basic wall can assist in a battle like this. Just giving us tremendous cover, and we can also get some flanking fire on the enemy. So I'm actually going to send one of our Fusilier units here. And unfortunately, these are veterans of previous battles, but they are going to die in this fight. That's why the goal here is just to damage the enemy as much as possible. Vive le pays! All of my instincts are telling me to charge right now, but I am not going to charge. I'm just going to hold my position and just keep the fire going. We know we can't win this battle, but we can at least inflict maximum casualties on the Ottomans. And I really do see the Ottomans as equivalents to our European counterparts. Because again, they do have the battle experience, they do have the tactics, and despite looking different, their troops, like their Fusiliers, are quite similar to ours. Oh, I was trying to get to that. They got to it first. That's frustrating. So we're just going to have to open fire on them from this location. I was trying to get to the location there first, behind the wall, but they got to it. Oh. Heroic death. And again, he wasn't an important general, but Alain Moukier nonetheless did the best he could against this massive force of Ottomans. So we tried to create the most casualties we could, and I hope we achieved that. A close defeat, I'll take it. Again, we were completely outnumbered. And sure enough, not bad. 251. Got them away from Alexandria, or actually it seems they took Alexandria. We're going to have to retake it. Is that possible? How frustrating is that? Yep, they did take Alexandria. Well, now Jean-Baptiste definitely has to return. And I generally don't attack a bridge position, but I will here, just out of frustration. I believe we will have Alexandria by morning for sure. I think that's eventually what's going to happen, BSG, with AI. I mean, if it gets good enough, and I think it will. I think there's a lot of disbelief at how good AI is going to be. Because I know that, like, right now you can pretty much tell AI, like, to write a game for you. And there's even currently an AI program out where, you can get a PhD level response as a doctor for like surgical suggestions, and I think the AI itself is worth $160,000, $20,000. The program itself is $160K, $20,000, and you get a doctor's answer to medical questions. And I think it's going to get to a point with AI where you could just tell it, like, hey, make a game with this and this and this and this parameters, and it'll just make it for you, you know? Yeah, we're going to get to that point pretty soon, I'm sure. It wouldn't surprise me. Nonetheless, that is going to be the end of part 2 of our Napoleon campaign. We're going to save it under Napoleon. Things have been interesting. The Ottomans are aggressive, man, I gotta say. But nonetheless, I've enjoyed facing them. A special thanks to Bostova for being a member of this channel, hitting that join button, and actually contributing financially. It helps hugely. Again, this isn't cheap to do what I do, to have the PC, to do the videos, to edit the videos, etc. You know, it's not easy. So any tiny bit of support you can give, whether it's money or just a like, comment, and subscribe, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Even sharing with your friends. So please make sure to make that happen. And thank you so much, guys, for stopping by. BSG, Bostova, Steven, you guys have been awesome during the stream, kind of assisting me here. And we will do a part 3, man. We did a part 3, a part 2. We're gonna do a part 3, for sure. We're gonna win Napoleon. We're gonna win Napoleon. We're gonna win Egypt in the Middle East. And as you can see, we do have all of northern Egypt, with the exception of Alexandria, which we will take quite easily, even though it's frustrating to have to rebuild. But what we have to do is get out here into the Sinai Peninsula, you know, modern day Israel, Palestine, and take these areas and eventually face the British. Another option is we do have a decent navy over here. Like, it's nothing crazy, but it's enough to get our men over. And the other option is to go to Cyprus, right, with an army and destroy the British and take Nicosia from the Brits, and that would pretty much get them out of the war, making it a lot easier to take on the Turks. But we'll probably do a separate poll about that, and you guys can vote on it on part 3, and then we'll go forward with that. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.